This is Championship Weekend for the 2022 All-Star Monster Truck Tour. Two teams are looking for number one, but an outside contender may be able to take advantage of late-season attrition. Up next, it's the All-Stars in Aiken. Welcome to Finals Week of the 2022 All-Star Monster Truck Tour Championship Series, coming at you from the Western Carolina State Fairgrounds in Aiken, South Carolina. And there's some stories rolling into this week talking about the points, the top two sitting 1 point apart, but there's one guy who really has the best shot to play spoiler and an outside shot coming back for the win. It's a real outside shot, but if you have a consistent week, you could actually move up a little bit in this thing.
Yeah, it's been an up and down season. Even though I've stayed pretty consistent in third place, it's been a bit of an uphill struggle. But again, we're trying to, like you said, play spoiler, play dark horse, play whatever analogy you want to say, just to kind of keep in with the competition. Mostly between Buddy and Brandon, man, it's been such a tight race the entire season. And again, I don't have, like you said, I have a shot at winning. I'm trying to play spoiler. And, if it's going to be my day, it'll be today.
This is one of the smaller spaces since one of the indoor stops you had on this tour, indoor-outdoor. This is like an outdoor arena. Not a whole lot of shutdown space. You're running a St. Louis-style oval. Any thoughts on this track this weekend?
I mean, it's going to be pretty cool because we're going to be on a very loose surface. Like, it's mostly grass and a little bit of dirt. So, again, we're going to be able to dirt track a good bit. It actually might be able to spin out a little more than we probably think. But again, that's just reading the dirt before the show. Anything can happen and most things change. With the St. Louis style, we're going to have to factor that in. It's going to be some really good racing no matter what. It's going to be close to the finish racing. I imagine it's going to be a lot of throttle to prepare. And again, like you said, we don't have a lot of shut-off room. We're going to have to lock it up real quick, but it's going to put on a show for fans no matter what.
We're going to keep an eye on our end zone camera here this weekend because I'm sure we're going to get some grills right up in the lens. But before we get to the action, I got to send it over to Chuck Plumley, who is standing by with our points leaders, Brandon Toluchka and Buddy Tompkins.
It's Championship Weekend at the All-Star Monster Truck Tour, and with me is second place in the points and your point leader, but it's only a 1 point difference, and Brandon Toluchka will go with you first. The Packer Fastener Getter done. You're just 1 point behind, but 9 competitions this weekend, plenty of opportunity to earn points.
Oh yeah, it's going to be awesome. We got these trucks all topped off. We had 2 weeks to get these things top-notch. They're ready to go.
Now, best trick, racing, and freestyle. Not a lot of opportunity to separate yourself, but racing and freestyle could be the competitions to do it this weekend.
Oh yeah, it's a pretty sweet track out here. A lot of big jumps. So yeah, we're going to burn it down, give it all we got, and see how it goes.
There you go. He's only 1 point behind, Buddy. You've been the points leader for about 6 of the 9 weeks. You lost it 2 weeks ago, and then you slowly got it back. Now you have a 1 point lead coming into the final 9 competitions this weekend.
You know, that's right. It's been a great season all year long. Brandon, the Packer Fastener, he's been the most consistent driver out here all year long. I've had some tough weekends. Somehow, way, shape, or form, I've stayed up on top. Hopefully I can keep that momentum going. It's the last weekend to have some fun. We're going to do what we do best, and we're going to race some cane.
Now, there's a little bit of offense and a little bit of defense. It's a 1 point lead, so you got to be consistent, but you got to make sure that you stay ahead of him the entire weekend.
You know, that's right. You know, like you just mentioned to Brandon, the biggest advantage to racing, that's the biggest points separation. So I kind of need to race him second round and beat him, but then again, if he beats me, guess what? He's going to jump ahead in the points. So it's kind of a catch-22. I just going to race my race, do my thing, do my freestyle. Hey, may the best man win.
9 competitions, 3 shows. It's Championship Weekend with the All-Star Monster Truck Tour. Let's go back upstairs to Nick.
Thanks, Chuck. It has been a windy day here in the Palmetto State, and it's not looking like it's going to let up as the sun sets behind the grandstands. The fans getting settled in. We're going to take a look at our points coming into tonight's action. Raising Cane, as has been said, with a 1 point lead on the Packer Fastener Ford, and then the major outside shot, Team Toxic. He'd have to have a near-perfect weekend, and it would likely have to be a catastrophic weekend for our top two for him to really gain on the 1 or 2 spot. And then the biggest spoiler in the field right now with no chance at the points championship, but she could make a mess of it. Michaela Tolochka and Miss Get Her Done. And, of course, Jamie Sullivan rounding out the field. She's been strong, but right now the team's getting ready as we head into the best trick competition. We are going to take a look at that big spoiler in the field. Michaela Tolochka out of Kewanee, Wisconsin, driving the Miss Get Her Done dent side Ford, the Patrick chassis machine with the engine her father built, Mitch Tolochka, the big 540 in the back. Let's see what she can do as she cuts it loose for this first competition. Nice sky wheelie to open things up. Remember, it's 2 hits. The perfect score in best trick is a 10. Each move is worth 5 points. The big Michelin's digging into the loose soil here in Aiken, South Carolina. And another solid sky wheelie to wrap up this run. Michaela Tolochka looking good here, making a statement, opening things up. Again, the most prominent spoiler of the bottom 2 in this field, looking strong, going to make life hard on everyone behind her. She's going to open with a 6. Looks like it was a pair of 3s on that run. Up next, Jamie Sullivan out of Christmas, Florida, in the FTI Torque Ram. Going after Michaela Tolochka, a big leap right there. Standing back here by the scoring table, trying to glance over Brian Wagner's shoulder to see what he's putting on that sheet, but trying to get into a donut right there, it looked like that, or she just lost traction and laid into it. Again, new driver, she's in her rookie season, looking better and better each week. Not getting quite what she wanted out of that move. I'm not sure what parts of that run are actually going to get scored right now as the judges report back to Brian Wagner. It'll be a 4, so it looks like she's only going to get a 1 on that second hit. Or it was the donut, I'm not actually sure. Our next competitor rolling out with a big, bad 557 KB Olds in the back. Cory Snyder and Toxic opening things up. Nice slap wheelie off of that sky wheelie. So a combo right there will start his run off very, very strong. We'll see what he has here as the big black and green Ford works his way around, stalking the track on the marchers. Nice hit there. The horsepower definitely in town tonight for that machine. Looks like they may have gotten their engine problems worked out that they had last week in Gray, Tennessee. We were worried they blew another engine when he lost oil pressure. It turned out he had just pushed the oil pump drive out of the back of the engine. Kevin Rico went to getting that repaired, and he's looking strong here with a score of 7. It's a 4 and a 3 for him to take the lead. The Packer Fastener Just Get Her Done. Second generation machine, Brandon Tolochka out of Kewanee, Wisconsin. Sitting in second place right now, looking to gain that points lead back. He took the points lead after day 1 in Gray, Tennessee. Buddy Tompkins came back on him and got that lead back. We will see what Brandon can do, starting things off in the best trick competition, going for his signature 2-wheel move, it looks like. Nicely done with the stoppie. He wanted to try to hang it up there longer, I do believe. Wrapping it up with a sky wheelie, the big bad Ford Packer Fastener Just Get Her Done out of the Dairy State. Walking tall, getting a feel for the track out here with a score of 7. He ties Cory Snyder. So right now it's 2 Super Duties on top with 1 heavy hitter pulling up the tail end of this field of 5. Buddy Tompkins with the big heartbeat horsepower in the back. out of Geneva, Florida. And you can see they've got a different body on it this weekend as he trashed the newer body that he had out in Gray, Tennessee after that unexpected rollover in freestyle. We will see what he's got as he stalks around the Western Carolina State Fairgrounds, Bridgestone Arena here, and we'll see. Going right for the two-wheel move, it looks like, gonna line it up. And he's gonna try to hang it up there as long as possible to unseat Brandon Toluchka. On the nose, but look at that, the transmission went on him. You could hear him get into the throttle, and he just had no response. The truck just kept leaning over. You see James Shannon and Stacy Jensen motioning for the loader. Gene Jensen in the loader rolling out there right now. You see Dustin Spallone down there. We got the thumbs up. Buddy's in communication. That wasn't a hard rollover. These trucks are super safe. He could have thrown that thing upside down, straight down on the lid. He probably would have been all right. But the big story here is that with a damaged transmission, he can't even be put back. Then you see it right there, a score of 5. That's going to be it for Buddy Tompkins. And the big question is he going to be able to come back for racing with the transmission damage? We don't know how bad the damage actually is. You can see the truck is freewheeling right now, so he apparently lost forward gear in this machine, and there is transmission fluid pouring out from under that truck right now, so we'll see. We're going to go down to Chuck Plumley right now to find out who the winner of this competition is going to be.
For your favorite run, who believes the win should go to the Thompson? Who believes it should go to the Packer Faster? Get it done! It's going to be Brandon Toluchka and the Packer Faster Get Her Done. This is yours. Best trick win. Here's how intense and how quickly things change in the points lead. You lost it a week ago, and Buddy was up by 1 point. During best trick contest, he dropped now 2 points. Now you're the points leader by 1 point, and we still have racing and freestyle to go tonight.
Oh yeah, man, it changes quick. Just like that, we're going to get that tranny back in his truck. That way we can hopefully get him out for racing. Give you guys the show you came home paying for your hard-earned money. We're going to burn it down for you guys.
Let's talk about what you just said. This is a competitive, intense rivalry, but you guys love each other. You just said your team's going to go back over there and try to help them fix it so that we can get a great show for these All-Star fans.
Oh yeah, even if I broke, you wouldn't like that. You'd come out and help us. We want to win straight up. So yeah, we're going to help him get his truck back together and we can all burn it down together.
A lot of sportsmanship among competitors here. Those guys have been each other's worst enemies on the track, but best friends back in the pits. And you can see it's been a 2-point swap out of the best trick competition. The Packer Fastener Ford now leading by 1 point. Raising Cane losing 2 points to him now, falling behind by 1 point. And then Team Toxic, of course, still hanging in there. He definitely helped himself with where he ended up. But the question right now is, will Buddy Tompkins lose more points? Can he make it back in for racing? We heard that all the teams are going to try to help get him back in this field, but how badly is the transmission actually damaged? We see Buddy, we see Kevin Rico over there, and of course Mitch, Brandon, and Michaela all headed that way to help out the Raising Cane crew. Question will be answered. Raising Cane, in or out, when we come back to Aiken. Stay with us.
This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by Monsters Monthly. For up-to-date info, media, and all your other monster truck needs, visit monstersmonthly.com. And by RPM Army. For a wide array of content from across the motorsports world, visit rpmarmy.com, your high-performance fix on the go. This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by Crush This. For a look inside the world of monster trucks, check out Crush This, a Monster Truck podcast.
Welcome back to a windy championship weekend here in Aiken, South Carolina. Good crowd on hand here at the Western Carolina State Fair. Getting ready for round number 1 of St. Louis-style monster truck racing here with the 2022 All-Star Monster Truck Tour. And there you see the activity going on in the Raising Cane pit area. Kevin Rico, there you see Mitch Tolochka. Of course, Dustin and the rest of the crew down there. Jimmy Tyndall up underneath, and James Shannon comes in to find out if they're going to make the round. The good news is we see transmission fluid bottles getting passed around, so they are filling that thing back up. We'll see if they can get it rolling forward. Right now, they have no forward gear in that truck, so we'll find out if they've gotten it back together for racing. Here we see our first pairing will be Toxic and Miss Get Her Done, and then if he can make the call, Raising Cane will take on Torque. A pair of teammates going at it, and then Packer Fastener Ford drawing the bye into the next round. He'll take on the winner of the Torque Raising Cane matchup. The winner of this matchup will take on the fast loser in the semifinal round. So only one machine will not make it in to the final 4. Right now is on the starting line the big 557 KB Olds in the back of the Toxic Ford up against the Dent Side Ford 540 Mitch Tolochka horsepower out of Wisconsin. Here we go. Both of them struggling a little bit in that first turn. Snyder looked like he got away first, but Tolochka's hanging in there. She made him work for it as she gets used to driving with a locker in the front end. They just put that in the truck a couple of weeks ago, and she's starting to get the hang of it. She's going to be a killer on this series once she gets things under control. It's always a little tough to learn how to drive again with that locker in the front end. The trucks have a tendency to push through the corners as we look now at the Raising Cane Ram. Now they fired it up. They're backing it out. The question is, will it go forward? He just answers the question, so he does have a Ford gear in there. And it looks like he's going to pull it out and take it to the starting line as Jamie Sullivan fires up the FTI Torque Ram. The rookie out of Christmas, Florida, taking on the crafty veteran out of Geneva, Florida. One of the hardest working teams in this business. These trucks don't always look the prettiest, but they will put on a show. Buddy Tompkins definitely trying to keep himself in the conversation as he lost some valuable points in the best trick competition. Right now, though, he's only 1 point out of the top spot. As he pulls to the starting line, we do see a little bit of smoke coming out of the engine. That may just be some transmission fluid that dripped down on that when it was upside down, because it did dump a lot of fluid out. But we will wait and see as there you see the smoke rolling off the top of that motor. Brian Wagner getting the thumbs up from both Raising Cane and Torque. Round number 1, pairing 2 underway. Sullivan hanging in there with Buddy Tompkins right now. Let's see, who's it gonna be around the final corner? What a race to the finish line. Tompkins pulling it out by about a half a truck length. You gotta tip your hat to Jamie Sullivan and the FTI Torque machine. Looks like she's finally getting the feel of these big bad monsters, and she puts herself into the semifinal round as the fast loser. She'll take on Cory Snyder in the Toxic 2.0 machine, and it'll be Raising Cane going up against the Packer Fastener Ford, and this is where he wanted to see Brandon Tolochka. If he can knock him out here, he might be able to gain those points back and get back to the number 1 spot. Then it'll only be by 1 or 2 points, but he could feasibly do it. He's got to knock him out here, though, as the crowd looks on. We get ready now for the semi-final round. Jamie Sullivan will pull right back out to the starting line. Now, if you noticed in that last race, there wasn't much of a hole shot for Buddy Tompkins. He has lost first gear. He's taking off in second, so that's hurting him right now as Our first pairing of the semifinals rolls to the line, so we're going to have to see if that transmission problem affects him negatively in the semifinal round. Right now, though, we're going to find out who is going to be waiting on one of our points leaders in the championship round. Take nothing away from Jamie Sullivan right now. She definitely surprised a lot of people in that last round. She looked really good going up against her teammate, Buddy Tompkins, as she is staged. Cory Snyder making her wait there a little bit. Let's see, did he get in her head? She gets through the corner first. She did not wait on him on the starting line. She got out of the hole quick. She's right there with him. Not going to make it as close this time, though. He had a much better final corner, but again, Jamie Sullivan showing him something here. She definitely is gaining experience each and every time out, showing she may have what it takes now to compete with the big boys here on the All-Star Monster Truck Tour. So Toxic will head toward the championship round right now, having dispatched Torque. Our final pairing, our points leaders, the two rivals on the season getting ready to come out. James Shannon giving them the signal right now to fire it up and go to the starting line. You see lane lights on in both. Buddy Tompkins headed toward the far end of the track down near the dumpsters. This could be the championship deciding race on the season. As close as we are to the end of this thing, Tompkins needs to win this pairing right now as he takes on Brandon Toluchka in the Packer Fastener Just Get Her Done second-gen machine. Both Patrick chassis trucks, but very, very differently prepared machines. Little staging battle going on right now. Neither one of them is committed to that starting line. Buddy Tompkins telling him to hurry up and get up there. Brian Wagner running over to hit the green. Who's it gonna be against Toxic in the championship? Tompkins trying to push it with an ailing transmission. Not quick enough through the final turn. A very convincing victory for the Packer Fastener Ford out of Wisconsin, dispatching the Florida native Buddy Tompkins. So our championship pairing will see Toxic, who dispatched the two ladies, a hard-charging Michaela Toluchka and a very hard-charging Jamie Sullivan in the semifinals, up against the Packer Fastener Ford, who drew the bye out of round number one. He just dispatched Raising Cane. It will be a pair of Super Duties going at it. Here's the way the points look without the final round having come to a conclusion. Raising Cane will temporarily hold that points lead until the end of this championship race. Packer Fastener, though, will be putting some points on the board before the end of this competition. That should jump him right back up into that points lead. Team Toxic, though, hanging in there. Right now, we're going to go down to the pits with an update from Chuck Plumley. Chuck?
Championship weekend here during the All-Star Monster Truck Tour in beautiful Aiken, South Carolina, and the intensity just ramped up. Buddy Tompkins of Raising Cane goes upside down, misses valuable points. In Best Trick competition has now lost the points lead. Brandon Toluchka and the Packer Fastener Get Her Done has moved on into the finals when he knocked out Raising Cane in the semifinals. So now more separation here in the season point standings as we continue to wind down with each competition during championship weekend here with the All-Star Monster Truck Tour.
Thanks, Chuck. A wild turn of events here tonight. Not the way either of our 2 points leaders would like it to have gone, but we mentioned a guy who really, the outside shot coming into this event was Cory Snyder. He's looking at potentially moving up into second place if things keep going the way they have been going for Buddy Tompkins. And if he can keep that momentum up, if he can beat Brandon Toluchka here in the championship race, he might have a shot at that number 1 spot. Again, it's an outside shot, but Cory Snyder, who just wants to get this machine running consistently after a rough start to 2022, is definitely not looking to lose here tonight. He's going to make the most of this final round appearance. And look at this, Brandon Toluchka throwing down the gauntlet as he pulls up on top of the right front tire of the Toxic 2.0 machine. Trying to get in Snyder's head a little bit right there. That's only going to serve to make Cory Snyder run that much harder, though. These guys, another pairing, very good friends off the track, but once the helmet goes on, the friendship is out the window. A pair of Super Duties side by side on the starting line. The Toxic 2.0 Ford Super Duty out of Maryland with the KB Oldsmobile horsepower in the back, built by Kevin Stauffer, and then the 540 cubic inch Richard Midget horsepower across track from him, though it's been a much more consistent year for the Packer Fastener Ford. Who's it gonna be here in the championship in Aiken? They wait on green. Good start for both. Snyder into the turn first. Snyder into the final corner first, but he goes deep. Toluchka gained some ground back on him, going for the final push out the finish line, and it will be the Packer Fastener Ford picking up a very narrow victory over Cory Snyder in the final round. Let's watch it again. Snyder had the lead all the way until the final straight. It was about a truck length lead at this point, but watch the corner. Dirt tracking through there. Toluchka just had a more consistent, flatter turn. He took it easier. He had the truck turned in the air, and that served to his advantage. He takes the victory, and he's headed down to talk to Chuck Plumley.
Well, it's a championship. You knew it was going to be intense. You were down 1 point this morning. Right now, you have a 6-point lead over the Raising Cane.
Oh yeah, man, it's awesome. My dad keeps them trucks in top notch back there in the pit so we can burn it down in front of him. He's awesome. You guys are awesome. We're ready to burn it down in freestyle.
That's right. We still have freestyle, where you guys love when these all-star fans wave those checkered flags.
Oh yeah, wave them flags. If engines are sold out, all we can see is the flags, so get them flags waving. I guarantee you guys will have a wild freestyle from all 5 of these trucks.
Well, there you have it. Stretching that lead out even more. Buddy Tompkins moving into freestyle has got to make a move on Brandon Toluchka. We're headed there next. Stay with us. It's going to be a wild one.
Hey, welcome to Wild Man Adventures. We're at the Silver Lake Sand Dragway. There really wasn't any off-roading back then. It was all off-road. We're on our way to Lima, Ohio. Got wooden wheels.
Oh, it's slippery as all get out of.
Hey, we're here with Rich Cummins. Hey, we're here with Mike Potter. Hey, we're here with Alan Pizzo. Gotta check it out. This week we're gonna go down memory lane.
Back in Aiken, South Carolina at the Western Carolina State Fair. A beautiful but windy evening here in the Palmetto State. The fans ready for the final competition of the evening, and that's All-Star Championship Freestyle. Michaela Toluchka and Miss Get Her Done. 4th in points out of Kewanee, Wisconsin, trying to keep Jamie Sullivan out of that number 4 spot. Sullivan will have to work hard to get there, but Michaela Toluchka is definitely not going to make it easy. Nice few opening hits here for the Dent Side Ford out of the Dairy State. You saw her cut out that donut. That truck definitely liking this loose soil with those big, meaty Michelins underneath. But with the locker down the front, as I mentioned, this truck will have a tendency, if she can break it loose, to do cyclones now. So we'll see if she adds that to her repertoire as she works her way around a very loose surface here on what used to be a nice grassy field at the Western Carolina State Fair. Just getting the crowd warmed up right now. And it looks like she's going to wrap it up right there. The beautiful black and gray Dent Side Ford out of the Dairy State. Miss Get Her Done. A strong run. I don't think it's going to hold on for the win, but certainly nothing to be ashamed of. Again, they've got 2 more shows after this. She may be holding something back. For those at 21, though, not bad for Michaela Toluchka. Definitely making life hard on everyone behind her because they're going to have to hit everything out here on this track now as Jamie Sullivan heads out of Christmas, Florida in the FTI Torque Ram. Getting that throttle rhythm down, and it's something that she struggled with early. It's something that a lot of people who take over their rookie season struggle with, is trying to find that throttle rhythm and how to land and not land in the throttle. Look at this. Definitely becoming more spatially aware in this truck. She's certainly not having the problem she had early in the season where she would land on the brakes or on the throttle, not getting near the walls as much, and more daring, I believe, in what she's willing to do behind the wheel. Right there, first one to take on the big concrete wheelie ramp on that side, so that should help her out the points. Backing up right there is going to detract from her score, so we'll see what she follows it up with. Nice leap over the center mound. Looks like she's starting to blow a little oil out of the headers right there. Some blue smoke coming out of that machine. And that's going to be it right there. She touches the outside wall right after I said she gets spatially aware. Just giving the crowd a little something to keep them warm here tonight. And Jamie Sullivan, a really good run. Probably one of the better freestyles we've seen her lay down in the past couple of weeks. Great to see her back at the wheel as Jimmy Tyndall took over for her last week. But I do think backing up hurt her score as she scores a 20. Had she been able to keep the Ford momentum up, I think she might have scored a little bit better. But we'll see what she has for the rest of the weekend. She's definitely not leaving anybody disappointed as her team is behind her right now. They loved watching her go around this track and racing as Cory Snyder pulls out in the Toxic 2.0 metal shop chassis machine out of Frederick, Maryland. Going right for the center mound. Nice sky wheelie right there as he and Kevin Rico have worked very hard to try to bring this truck up to where they want it, up to the level that they know Cory can drive it. We know it's a good machine, although it's been a rough 2022 for them as he puts another beautiful sky wheelie on the back of one of those race lanes. This truck, though, there's plenty of horsepower underneath him. It's just him bringing his driving style around to the new mechanics of this truck. Big sky wheelie right there. Horsepower is definitely working for him tonight. These guys were worried about this being too small an area to really get hang time in these trucks, and I think they're proving themselves wrong here tonight as Cory Snyder puts on a solid run in Toxic 2.0. Another slap wheelie off the race lane, just like he did in the best trick competition. Trying not to leave anything on the table for the two guys coming up behind him. And he'll wrap it up right there. I have to believe that that is going to be a takeover run from Michaela Tolochka. Look at this sky wheelies that he put on this machine. Solid run out of Toxic 2.0, and then this awesome sky wheelie. Watch this thing carry the front end straight up and down. Cleared the pad for a score of 25. 5 points left at the top for our final two competitors. Cory Snyder definitely making life hard on our final two. Kane and Packer up next when we come back. Stay with us.
Listen up. It doesn't matter if you just watch your first show or you're a longtime fan of the sport and you want to know more about monster trucks. Well, tune into the Throttle Out Show on Monday and Thursday nights, live on our YouTube channel at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. You'll get the inside scoop and all the behind-the-scenes footage in monster trucks and soon-to-be all other motorsports. Life is better when your foot is to the floor. So remember, when in doubt, throttle out.
South Carolina for the final pair of freestylers from the first competition of round number 8 of the 2022 All-Star Monster Truck Tour Championship Series. Your points leader right now after Best Trick and Racing, Brandon Tolochka in the Packer Fastener. Second generation Just Get Her Done Ford Super Duty Patrick chassis machine out of Wisconsin. Big hang time going back toward the dumpsters. Again, these guys were worried about that end being too short. It definitely isn't. Walking it right there. I think that was better than his best trick move, but he's still got a win out of that. Can he pick up another win here? Big air time off of the center mound right there, using up every ounce of track space as he bounces toward the fence. these guys are absolutely loving this loose dirt surface. It's allowing them to really throw these trucks around without the fear of them rocking up and rolling over. So they're getting the best of the best out of these machines when they're on the track. And Brandon Toluchka with the big 540 Richard Midget motor in the back working this place to perfection as you see the loose soil flying behind the rear tires. A little bit up on the barriers right there. Let's see what he's got. Another big hit off the center mound. Looks like he'll wrap it up right there. The crowd had to love that. I don't know how far over or if it was, but at the very least he matched Cory Snyder in momentum and hits, but the big air I think is what's going to push him over. These massive leaps off the center mound were spectacular, and then of course the two-wheel move you see right there is always going to work in your favor. If you can pull those out, you're probably going to put yourself over the top once again from the end zone. This was the second jump. Watch this thing hop up on the right-hand side, keeping it out of the fence for a score of 27 by 2 points. He takes over the lead, and that leaves only 3 points at the top for this guy, Buddy Tompkins, out of Geneva, Florida, in Raising Cane. The big white Ram, again, keep in mind the transmission is not at 100%. Body's already worse for wear, so we know he's not going to worry about that. Huge launch off of the popper ramp over there on the far end. He's hammering down. Look out. He's in trouble over on the left-hand side. Nice job of driving there for Buddy Tompkins and Raising Cane. Slap Willie toward the starting line, end of the track. You notice he's landing with the truck turn and then immediately getting back on the throttle. Running this truck hard, and you can hear the transmission whining here at the Western Carolina State Fairgrounds, echoing into the night. Another massive launch off the center mound. Jimmy and Dustin have to be standing back there right now saying, let it go, as Buddy is just beating what's left of this transmission to death right now. Does not want to stop trying to get one of his signature walking wheelies out of this truck. And as I was saying, that ailing transmission is going to negate the two-wheel moves he'll usually throw into his freestyles. Again, he does not have first gear. He cannot really make a clean shift and get that thing to ride on the nose. Didn't want to risk ending the freestyle early or damaging the transmission that they worked to get back in this truck. Or, excuse me, get this truck back in competition. An awesome run, a good run, a great run. I don't know if it was a level enough to actually take over the top spot. I know he, at the very least, especially with this, matched Brandon Toluchka almost ended the run early right there as one tire got a hold of some loose soil and the other one gripped the top of that concrete barrier. Almost put the truck on the lid, but that's the way Buddy Tompkins likes to drive it. And there you see it. It's a tie with a 27, but the tiebreaker is going to go the way of Brandon Toluchka in terms of the overall points. So Brandon Toluchka is going to walk out of here certainly with the points lead. Again, the victory on the night doesn't really matter in your points total at the end of the weekend or the end of a night of action. And there you see the event points, not the overall championship points, but the event points earned here today. The Packer Fastener Ford. And then you see it's Toxic in second place this time. Raising Cane 2 points down from that number 2 spot. Really not what Buddy Tompkins wanted. And of course, Miss Get Her Done and the FTI Torque Machine hanging on in there this time around. They were both very impressive here this weekend. Packer Fastener now 6 points up in the championship series on the season on the Raising Cane Ram. And Team Toxic now pretty much any hopes they had of taking the number 1 spot have mathematically been eliminated. There's still a very slim outside shot, but it would be a catastrophe to either one of our top 2 if Snyder was able to actually gain on the number 1 or 2 spot. And then, of course, Miss Get Her Done and the FTI Torque Ram rounding out the field here on night number 1 of round 8 of the All-Star 2022 Championship Series. It's been a great night. We have 2 more to go. We'll see you next time.